Yeah, so yeah, Eva just asked you, can you tell us more about the difference between an inner child and an archetype? So the inner child exercise is your go-to when you feel like there's a recurring sticky feeling. So it's like an emotional state. It's like, oh, I'm angry again. Like when you feel triggered by your kids or you feel triggered by someone close to you, and you feel like, ooh, and the question to ask is, have I felt this way before? Do you know
Okay.
what I mean? Have I felt this way before? Yes. This isn't the first time I'm feeling this, right? And then you ask the feeling, how old are you? And you'll hear an age, and you can go down and find her. So I was working on this today with someone, and she did I feel because, you know, that journaling that I really, really recommend you guys do as
Yeah.
often as you can. So I feel annoyed because, and let's say you get to annoyed and you're like, it's not wanting approval, wanting control, wanting safety. You're like, it's none of those. I'm just annoyed and it's a 9 out of 10. And so you can kind of feel, is this an inner child? Does it feel sticky, recurring, like it's been there so long, it's been there forever? See what I'm saying? And when you try to
Yeah.
clear, you can't clear. It's like, oh, wanting approval, control, safety, it doesn't work. You're like, I'm just annoyed.
Okay, got it. Got it.
And I
Yeah.
think I think you'll get more examples next week when we do so much ping ponging. You'll hear it in other people.
Mm-hmm.
Like you'll get to someone, you'll go, okay, why would you be opposed to this? And they'll say, because nothing ever good happens to me. And then you go, okay, we could do approval, control, safety on that, but doesn't that feel inner child? Like their
Mm-hmm.
response will like sounds like an inner child. Do you see what I'm saying? Like when they'll say,
Yeah.
nobody ever cares about me. You're like, okay, that's an inner child. Like you wouldn't say that as an adult necessarily, right? So
Mm-hmm.
it's like
Yeah.
it's very explorative. You kind of have to just be willing to explore, and you can't really do it wrong. It's not like there's one way and then that's it, you know.
Isn't
And then
isn't it
yeah.
isn't it like this that the inner child it's also an archetype because we have so different inner child. I
Yeah, I can totally see that. So my experience is more that you have your like something happened to you to me when we were little, right? Something actually happened. So
Mhm.
it's not an archetypal inner child. It's like there's actually a scene. So when you ask how old are you when this feeling started, you go, how old are you feeling to the feeling that's sticky and recurring? And then you hear three. And you let yourself go down, down, down a waterfall or like a water slide. I mean, you just let yourself go down as the adult, not as the child. You go down, 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 and you land in the scene and you can see. So when I did this today, she went back to a scene that was really hard for her when she was 14 with her mom. And she kind of like needed to see it as an adult. And so she showed up as the mom in the scene to reparent the little girl and bring her back.
Mhm.
So that's where it's like not an archetype. So to me, an archetype is more like a voice that will come in and say, like, you never do anything right. Or who do you think you are? You don't get to have that. That's like the critic or the judge. Do you see the difference, Eva?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or the princess might be like, I just want to be saved. I want a man to take care of me, like the princess archetype, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or the mother might be like, I don't want to leave my kids. I want to stay with my kids. I don't want to work because I want to be with my kids. To me, you could see if that's approval, control, safety, or if it's like, if you're trying to ping pong with someone and they're like just have the same answer every time, or they're not getting past it, or they're not feeling better, that you got to do archetype. You can't stay in approval, control, safety because you're just going to run around. Every time is the same answer. Like, you know.
Okay. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And then how do you work with the inner child? You because with the archetypes you go like to feel
You
the jar.
validate.
Hmm? You validate the inner
Yeah,
child.
well, yeah, you valid. So I don't know if you got the happy map. Maybe I didn't send it to
Yes.
you.
Yes, it's
It
in
has like how to do it. So we'll do it today too. But when it's an inner child, you LOVE love. So you get to the scene, you listen, you observe, you let her talk, and she tells you what happened. And this is you guys, like what's amazing about this work is when we go down to find them and talk to them, and it's an actual scene that really did happen to you, it's the first time that any adult like came in to help them through that scene, probably, right?
Mm.
So she finally has someone who's like a conscious, loving adult, which is you, and you kind of collapse time, right? So the timeline doesn't matter to your brain. It's like the memory is floating and it's still happening. So now we're recreating the memory with a new adult comes in to love her and secure her and help her. And it just, that's what frees you. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, it's like, oh, the memory changes in that moment because you go down and change it. And you talk to her and validate. So it's like, oh, someone's listening to me. Someone's actually believing me. Instead of, that's why I say, don't tell your inner child when they say, I'm scared. And most people go, oh, it's going to be okay. I'm with you now. It's like, no, just say, oh, you're scared? Yeah, I'm really scared because no one's home. Oh, no one's home. And then they open up. And then the more they tell you, the more you have to help her. You know, the more you can hold her.
It's
But
not
like today, huh?
sorry, it's not, sometimes we've done the ping ponging and I get a feeling of an age, you know, when you say
Yeah.
like, when we ask like, how old do you think I am? And I do get an age, but I don't necessarily go back to a scene. It's more like an overall feeling, but still within the exercise that you're saying of validating and
Yeah.
reparenting, the
Yeah.
upgrade will happen, even though you're not necessarily doing a specific action within the scene. Like it felt, at least for me in my case, it
It
tends to be.
depends. I mean, sometimes I'm driving when I'm doing this, so I can't go back to see where she is. Like if I can't close my eyes, let's say, right? When someone takes me down. So it depends. Maybe when you were ping-ponging, we just didn't take the time to really go in and find her and go to the scene. It just depends how, you know, how you're doing. Jen is with us. Yeah, maybe she'll, like Jen and Sarita are other people you can ask how they know when it's an inner child or an archetype because they've done this for so long with me. But I think your answers will come with practice. It's kind of like when you do yoga and you're like, hey, I don't get the whole pose. And then until the muscles come in, then you get the pose. See what I'm saying? It's like the more you do it, the more you're going to be like, oh yeah, that's clearly an archetype. It's clearly my doubter. It's a doubter who thinks I'll never make it. It's their learned helplessness, you know, or no, this is inner child, sticky, recurring emotion. Do you see the difference? The archetypes are more like beliefs and they say stuff and they're very verbal, but the inner child I feel is more wounding, like emotional wounding.
Yeah, I feel so
Yeah.
too.
And sometimes they mix. Like today I got so like not so triggered. I got triggered by my son and it was like my man hater came out, which I didn't even know I didn't know I had, like the man hater, right? It was like I just hate men. And I let her talk and I let her talk. So she was like definitely an angry teenager, but also an archetype like the man hater who doesn't want to have anything to do with men. And I flipped it with journaling and TAT tapas. And then my love went up to 9. So like my hate was 9 and my love was 0. And then I went, oh, and I felt so much love. And I felt like I was going to be blessed this week. I just feel like in the next week, I'm going to have like some blessings come in. And I feel it's because I did some forgiveness with my dad like tonight. So my son triggered because he lied to me, right? And when my dad would lie to me, it was like horrific, right? So my son lied to me and it brought me back to when my dad lied to me. And so I had daddy hate come up with my son. And I was like, okay, I have to go in my room, close the door, and just like get this out of me. So I got it out of me. I did the TAT questions. I did the daily feeling journal. I just did the work you guys and I, you know, we all do. And then I still did like the TAT 20 minutes, whatever, the pose. And then at the end, I wrote, I choose to have peace about this. I choose to bring God in. I choose to forgive. Like it was hard. I didn't want to forgive, you know. But it happened. And then as I stayed with it, my love went up to 9 and my hate is gone. And I went and cuddled with Hayden before the call and scratched his little back and we're fine, you know? So it's like my question to the universe is like, ooh, did I need to forgive my dad again because I'm calling in more money this quarter? Like, do you see how I feel like every time I call in money and I'm open to receiving more, I have the edge of like, ooh, daddy stuff, like father figure receiving men stuff come up. And he is the only close man in my life. My son is the only one who's kind of like every day in my life, right? So if I need to be triggered to forgive, it's gonna be him right now until I'm back home with my boyfriend, you know. But yeah, then it will be probably my boyfriend. So I don't know what you
Mm.
guys feel, but I feel like we ask to receive more, we ask to be more, we ask for whatever. Like, you know, Mirella wants to travel, Eva, you want to be more visible as a therapist in Singapore. And then we get triggered. And it's like, well, maybe the trigger, and if we go in it and like kind of unpack it, maybe we we get to go free faster and manifest faster. That's what I wanted to say. All right.
Mm.
Okay, so Mirella and Jen. Hi guys. So yeah, do you want to go first, Mirella? Like with what like do you want to do like do you want to call up some archetypes by doing I feel because?
I don't know. I don't know. I can tell you what's coming up. I'm here in Berlin. There are three things. I don't know how they are connected with each other or not. It's always about money. It's just a never-ending story about having a business and receiving more money and selling packages and having this kind of minimum rates. And it's just the fourth month I can keep them. It's good. And I
Do you
believe
have
I will.
any fear?
Yes, I have a
Perfect.
lot of fear. I have a lot of fear around money because at least I see that everything is going back to money. It's just like the root for
Security.
everything.
Yeah, like your security.
Security and control. In a way, it's security. It's, oh my gosh, I could renovate my apartment, but can I spend the money? I should do my booking and my taxes. Oh my gosh, I don't know if I should pay a lot of money and I'm afraid of it. I want love, but it's in a way also safety around money. How can I deal with the money in a relationship? I want to travel. Do I have the money? It's however I'm just looking at it, it's coming back to money in a way. And I cannot even forgive the man. And
Mm-hmm.
even with the man, with my ex-husband, it's
Yeah.
also coming back to money. It's
Yeah.
not that I feel he doesn't want to have, a relationship with me or also with my last ex-boyfriend. It's just they don't invest money in me. It's weird, but it's exactly the way it is.
Well, do you remember when we ping ponged when I was moving and you were making crepes? How you had this really ultra independent who came up and who was like, if I get money from my ex, then I won't get any more. I won't get any from my business. It's somehow believed if the man has money, gives me money, then I don't make any more. Did you ever come across her again?
Not really. Mm-mm.
Okay, we could play around with it. Can I walk you through? It's my favorite
Yes.
fear inventory. So
Mm,
it's you guys don't have this version yet, but I'm gonna send it to you. So it's a fear turnaround, and we're gonna use it to also possibly blend with your gene keys, but we don't, if you want to type your birth date in the chat, I'll go look at your gene key while you're doing this. But and everyone, if you have any fear, let's, you know what, we should all do it together. What about, can we all do it
mm,
together? And
mhm,
we'll still do
mhm,
archetypes with it. But so this is an example, but this is the blank version. So I'll walk
mhm,
Mirella through it.
mhm,
So it's very simple. You can do this anytime at home, anytime you feel fear. The reason we don't want to stay in fear is because when we're in fear, I don't know what you guys think, but when I'm in fear, I'm more likely to be in self-will. And self-will is like hustler vibe. It's whatever, I'll go get this done. Like self-will is, I don't care what the divine tells me to do, I'm going to do it my way. It's kind of stubborn and it's usually like blind, and I usually don't hear the divine's guidance, and I'll make mistakes. Like especially in my investment portfolio, if I'm afraid of losing my money, I will invest at the top and lose, or like, it goes down and then you have to wait for it to go back up. But I don't listen as clearly if I'm afraid. So if you have any fear about your packages, Mirella, or if you have any fear about your safety, we're going to want to bring in some God in it, just like TAT does it, but this is just a fun version that's a little bit like quick and easy. So what am I afraid of? Just tell me.
I'm afraid of not having enough money to making bad decisions about money. I have a fear that I cannot really earn money, that I cannot
Let's do
deal
that
with
one.
money.
Sorry, I can't. I'm going to write it down, but you can write it down too if you want. I'm afraid I can't earn money. And the first one was that I can't. What was the first one you said?
I am afraid I cannot deal with money. I will lose money and I will make bad investment. In a way, it's the same. I'm afraid, yes, I'm not earning money and I will spend money. I could lose it. It's on both, not receiving and giving it away with a bad energy or investing it bad.
Like I feel like there's also, you don't trust yourself.
No,
Like
I don't trust myself at all. Not
Perfect.
in
So you're even
business.
afraid of yourself with money.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so write that one down. Yeah, I'm afraid of myself with money. That I won't make the right decision, that I'll fuck up pretty much, right? Okay. And as you know, and Eva can tell you, because in our RTT training, we learn to tell people the rules of the mind, and whatever suggestions and commands we give our mind, the mind will seek out evidence to be right. You know this with your NLP, right? So it's like, as long as I believe that I'm going to lose money, I'm going to lose money, I'm going to lose money, I'm going to be right. So I'm going to help you switch the paradigm, okay? The paradigm, the blueprint. So why do I have this fear? And everyone, if you want to follow along, just think of, what am I afraid of? Why do I have this fear? So just think about, why do I fear that I won't earn money, that if I have money, I'll lose it, that I can't trust myself with it?
Because I made bad decisions in the past and I never had a really good working business,
Yeah. Okay. And so so you have this fear because you've made bad decisions. You have past evidence, like one of my mentors calls it, you're defending a memory. Sorry, I'm not laughing. Obviously, I'm laughing at what he said. Defending. Are you defending a memory? Yes, I'm defending a memory. It's happened in the past. It's probably going to happen again. How did self-reliance fail you?
Oh, can you say it differently? I don't understand it.
Okay.
What means self-reliance?
Self-reliance is when I'm relying on myself. So I'm relying on myself. I have to earn the money. I have to make great decisions. Like self-reliance versus God reliance, maybe spirit reliance. So how has just relying on yourself so far failed you?
Oh, I just had a lot of evidence where I lost or I wasted a lot of money. Really, I made all my investments were bad decisions. All.
Okay.
Almost all. Yes.
Yeah. So like some financial sabotage, kind of like, if one stock was going to go down, that's the one you invested in, right?
Yes.
Like you can't imagine things getting better.
And it's funny while you are saying this, because, and it's so interesting, because of course I have two memories which are coming up with money, a lot of memories. And at the same time, I knew that always when my parents gave me money to buy something for my daughter, it always went wrong. So when I'm using their money for something, for example, I had some money from them because I have their accounts for my holiday, but I will never, ever tell this loud that this is from their money when I'm buying something for Amena or for us, because then I will know that something bad will happen. We will buy the wrong thing. At least I just bought her shoes, okay, shoes, and I told her, you know, it's with the money from from the grandparents, and she went to ride, and she had shit in their shoes, really shit from the horse, and the shoes were stinking, and she couldn't wear them anymore. We couldn't clean them up, so we had to throw them away.
Right.
And
So like somehow money from your parents you
yes,
don't want. Okay, that's fine. So how did self-reliance fail me? Well, I keep sabotaging myself. Self-reliance is not helping you out, right?
no, because I cannot
So
trust myself.
and when I do that, whom am I relying on when I'm in self-reliance? Am I relying on source or on me?
No, I'm relying on me.
Okay. What would it look like? So this is the tip, you guys. You want to run this question through you like a meditation, Mirella, and just wait to hear or feel the answer, okay? What would it look like if I were to rely on source? And you just pause, you ask and you pause and you wait and you just go, okay, what would it look like? And you kind of wait, kind of like you're waiting for the answer.
Mm,
And keep asking it. What would it look like if I were to give all this to God and rely on God or source or universe?
First of all came panic, like, oh my gosh, again, this spiritual, you cannot rely on God. He cannot take care of your money. You have to take care of your money. After this, you will rely on God and you will lose everything because you trust.
Oh, yeah. So there's a voice in your head who's panicking when it comes to trusting God or
Yes.
anything outside yourself. But let's ask again. Okay, but what would it look like if I were to rely on God or source or something bigger than me?
Um, mm, it's interesting. The second thing is, which comes up, it's I'm not worth of relying on source.
I'm not worthy.
I'm not worthy.
Uh-huh.
Mm,
Let's ask again. What would it look like
mm,
if I were to
what
rely on source?
I think in a way I will spend more money. I will spend easily more money.
But like try to hear almost like can you hear almost a message about what it would look like? What Mirella would feel? What would Mirella feel and look like if she were to put all of this in her God, in her own God, like that she understands, right? Your own understanding of God.
Hmm.
A
It's funny.
benevolent. Yeah, go ahead.
It's funny because it's again, I cannot really imagine it. It's interesting because I read all the books from Tosha Silver, and she's saying it's not your money, it's through God. It's coming through the source. And I felt so un so dependent and not trusting,
Yeah,
not trusting in the
perfect.
source.
Okay, let's put that. So the next question after that is what parts or character defects, I don't like that word, but that's the one that's on this inventory, did I see come out of this fear inventory? So for example, like you could put the part who doesn't trust, like that part. You could put the part that's panicking. You could put the part that doesn't feel worthy. I think there's a couple parts in there. Like, okay, do you want to put that in like
Yes, yes.
so you just bring them up and it's kind of like when you do TAT and you say, okay, God, please do this healing. This is kind of like you giving these parts to a higher power and you say, hey, higher power, I don't fully understand you. Maybe I don't completely believe in you, but I do know you're there and I do know you've helped a lot of people recover from all kinds of issues. So I bet you could help me with this, right? So God, Spirit, Universe, I'm going to give you this part who doesn't trust in you. And this is you doing it. I mean, I'm speaking it, but it's up to you to do it or not, right?
I'm just thinking. I'm thinking that it's the same part who is not trusting the man. It's the same
Of
part.
course. Of course. Yeah. So give that up, put it in like an imaginary God's box. We're going to put
Mm-hmm.
that woman who doesn't trust, the woman who's panicking, the woman who doesn't feel worthy. Put it all just like, ugh, like almost like you're throwing it in there. Like just get it out.
Mm-hmm.
And are you ready to have Spirit, God, Universe remove these from you now?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then the prayer is, my Creator,
Mm-hmm.
I'm now willing that you should have all of me, good and
Mm-hmm.
bad, or all these parts. I pray that you now remove from me every single defects of character or parts that stands in the way of my usefulness to you and my fellows. Grant me strength as I go out from here to do your bidding. Amen. Now, wanting control and a lack of trust definitely comes from trauma and PTSD. So keep doing TAT on this part who doesn't trust, okay? Journal it out and keep just using that. And I don't know if I've ever sent you, I did a recording where it's me speaking the whole thing and it's a really nice video. I could also send that to you so you have a different video to do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, how was that? How do you feel now compared to when we started with the fear?
Um, if I'm really honest, I'm still not trusting. It's like,
Well, of course.
no, I'm not. I'm going to do it, but it will not help. It's like, like
Stopper.
it's
Do you know in TAT? I mean, you're getting certified in tapas, right? You know how she says you have stoppers?
yes.
This won't work
Mm.
for me. I don't believe this will work.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, and this is like just to get you to pivot back to faith. You have trust issues from trauma. So you need RT, you need hypnosis, you need something deep in there. Like you know, this won't work for trauma. This is why I say you guys need, obviously, if your fear comes from trauma, you're going to need to do this a few more times. But the story that I really love to give, and then we'll move on to archetypes and I can help the other girls on the call, but it's like, you know, the thing that I love so much about the 12-step program and the 12-step of recovery is when you think about it, when it was created, it was at a time when men were so alcoholic. They had a disease, and alcoholism is a disease, right? It's a mental disease, emotional, spiritual disease. And it was like one drink is never enough. They would have a drink and they need more and they need more. And they were in such bad shape, no more jobs, living on the street, losing their wives, losing their family, and still wanting to drink. So they would go to the hospital and the doctors were like, we don't know what to do with you. We can't help you. And for these people, only 10%. So if you think about like 100 alcoholics, 90% the doctors could help. 90% they would recover with like hospital detox and, you know, they wouldn't drink again. 10% were completely lost. The doctors were like, we don't know what to do with you guys because you get out of the hospital and you go right back to the bar. And what they ended up seeing is the only thing that saved them was a program of recovery that helped them with like their spirituality and their morality, like to have a more like change their morality around being of service to others. And what it did is it completely changed them. So if you think about archetypes, it got rid of the selfish, poor me, victim-y archetype, and they started to be of service to other humans. And they started to carry the message and care about others. So, but you are what you do. So by being in that recovery program, then, you know, thousands and tens of thousands of them stopped drinking when the best doctors in the country couldn't help them stop drinking. And it's a spiritual program. And the prayer we just read was the 7th step prayer. So there's 12 steps. And the first step is to admit that I am powerless over this addiction, whether it is under earning, you know, that's a 12-step program, Under Earners Anonymous, whether it's overeating, under earner is a 12-step program. So if you struggle with under earning, so those are for people who can't make money, you know, they just struggle making money. They're debtors anonymous. It's people who go into debt, who don't feel like, pretty much it's for people who don't feel like they have a handle on their finances. It's a really good program. So the reason I talk about God and spirituality and 12 steps is think about how people who do really strong drugs, like heavy drugs, heavy alcohol, who are living on the street, they do the 12 steps and they never do drugs again. Like they never have to do alcohol again. So when you think about that, and we're giving God our little tiny, you know, whatever, under earning or hiding or whatever, even overeating. Like when I did the steps for overeating, I never overate since, and it was 14 years ago, right? Like it was, so the obsession is removed, the mental obsession is removed. Does that make sense? And if you want to ask Sarita, Sarita has a really beautiful story of recovery. And I won't share her story; she'll share it with you. But I have one. I mean, I have a ton of story of recovery. But so it's like the mental obsession, this selfish self-centeredness of like, poor me, I'll never make it, victim-y. A program of recovery will just take care of it. And it's like, what I find amazing is, if God can help an alcoholic who is hopeless no longer ever drink, do you think it can help us with whatever we're facing? Absolutely. Absolutely. Because it's about no longer being in our small, poor me. It's all about me. And we start to be more about service. And how can I be of service today? How can I go on Facebook today to be of service? How can I be less self-centered? And one of the core pillars of the recovery program is to get rid of resentments and fears. It's like they say in the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous, they say fear is one of the worst things an addict could have, because if you're fearful, you're going to go back and act out. But when you think about us healers and earth angels, we're not going to go out and get drunk. But how do we get drunk today? Do we hide? Do we have pity parties? Do we feel sorry for ourselves? Like, how are we, do you see what I'm saying? Like acting out or acting in? And how are we just focused on ourselves too much, to the point that it is kind of like a disease, you know, it's a self-centered disease. All addictions are self-centered disease. You know, it's, I was hurt, poor me, nobody loves me, so I'm going to go and drink and fuck everybody. And I'm going to go and smoke. And I'm going to go and eat a whole thing of chocolate. And no one loves me. So you know what? Fuck them. I'm not going to work. I'm not going to care. I'm going to sabotage. So at the end of the day, any kind of under earning, or it's, I mean, to me, it's all self-centered stuff. So that's my rant. Yeah.
I believe you, and I don't know where this comes from. It's just, I'm not worth of receiving money. My work is not worth of receiving money. It's just everybody would be better if they would choose somebody else. And this is, I don't know how because this is completely connected to money.
It's a fear. It's like, so that's what I mean. The looping thoughts, the I'm not worthy. It's part of the disease. It's part of the mental disease. It's part of the under earners mental disease. I bet you if today you go, and I know there are under earning anonymous meetings in Berlin. If you go, everyone will be like, yep, of course, that's me. I'm not worthy. 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 And it's a looping thought. And then at some point you have to just go, really? Am I not worthy? So we'll do some archetypes if you want, but I really wanted to share that because the fear inventory comes from the Alcoholics Anonymous program. And I still use it every time I have fear, because otherwise, you know, I don't know what my acting out is today, because I don't eat, like I don't overeat like I used to, right? I don't know, I don't drink, but I bet you I still will probably, if I don't process out the fear, maybe I'll do something that's harmful to me or my son, like, or my clients. Like I'll hide, I won't post, I won't think I'm good enough. If I listen to the fear, it's going to stop me from taking action. Do you see what I'm saying? So like when Mirella believes I'm not worthy, no one should buy my work, well then it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, because then you become right. But you just had like a $10,000, you just sold a ton of packages last month. Like
I believe I will make in April again over 10K. I'm quite sure
Right.
about it. And I just have again several people who bought. So it's not really true. It's
Right.
something in me.
So you make over 10,000 a month and you still think you're not worthy of receiving. So,
Yes,
so
yesterday I talked to
yeah.
somebody and she wants to prolong our work and buy my 5K package. Yesterday bought somebody 1.5K package. I will have, I think somebody, a manager bought, I think also 5K package for this year. I just have to talk with him. So it's over 10K this month. Yes, it's not money I will receive just now. Beside I think I have yet over 4K this month, but it's still,
Why won't
it's
you
like it's
receive it
not
now?
consistent.
Because do you bill them? Do you send them an
Yes,
invoice?
yes. Some of them I have over an outplacement company, and this is interesting because they pay me. We have a contract for, I don't know, 47 dates, and they always pay what I'm doing with him. So 4 sessions a month or something like this, monthly bills. And this is something I'm just doing for safety, just to have something on, on my foundations.
Yeah,
And it's
look at the Under Earners Anonymous meetings and then let's keep going with archetypes. Yeah.
okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
I never
Yeah.
heard about this. This is
It's
so
amazing. Amazing. Sarita can tell you about it. She'll like be like, "Oh my God, it changed my life."
okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, my loves. So, Jen, how are you doing, love? Did you need any archetype help? I don't know if she can talk. And then, yeah.
I haven't really tuned into a specific archetype right now, but I know your list on the call. I was like, oh yeah, I definitely have all of these. So
We all have all of them. They don't always come up, thankfully.
yeah.
I know man hater. I'm gonna add that one in.
Yeah, that one too.
That one came on so loud today. I was like, whoa. All right. Okay, love. So Eva, do you want to check in and see what did we ping pong on last night? Because you felt triggered about this guy, right?
Oh my God, I was triggered about so many things. Yesterday it really came in a wave. And then we ping-ponged on being panicky and afraid of not being able to help my clients, and that they were bailing out on me and that I was a fraud, and all these things came up. But I have to
Were you able to
say,
sit with it again?
I'm sorry?
Were you able to sit with it again, like just the
Yeah, I
feeling?
did KT and I journaled after we did the ping pong. And what came up for me was, well, first of all, one of my clients, she came back and she's like, "You're amazing, thanks so much." So even though right now we are, she's going through some things and we need to pause what we're doing, I did eventually get to this place where I'm like, okay, I can still help in a way and hold space for them. A shift that we did together that you helped me with was to understand that they are coming to me broken, and so I cannot expect them to fill
Fill
me
up
up,
your jar.
right? Exactly. So I need to make sure that I look to source and to universe to do that for me. And after doing the journaling, the ping pong, the tapas, yesterday, I think all the archetypes are quiet today, because yesterday what I said was, in my meditation, I said, I just want to understand. What do I need to understand about the situation? Embrace it, accept it. It's a gift. I don't know what the gift is, but I am willing to receive the answer, and I'm willing to receive the answer and move forward with it. So today I just but it's very quiet in my head, right? Like
All
there's
right.
not
Well,
a
don't
lot.
worry. I know how we're gonna trigger. We're
I
gonna
don't know.
trigger some people. And I just had a thought.
Okay.
well, yeah. Okay. We're going to do this exercise, but we're going to do it all together, but I'll help Eva. So I want Mirella and Jen to do this too, because I think it's a common thread for all of us. And I know you guys pretty well. So well, we're going to imagine, Eva, right? We're going to do this on trust. We're going to imagine that there's a living room in your head with a beautiful blackboard. And on the blackboard, we're going to write, from this point on, I allow myself to trust. I'm going to trust life. I'm going to trust humans. I'm going to trust myself. I'm just going to trust. Cool? We're going to write it on the board and we're going to wait for whoever's in the audience, like in the living room, on all of their chairs. Someone's going to come up and go, no way, we're opposed to that. And then that will be an archetype. And then we'll see, right? We'll do that work. And then if the inner child comes up, we'll do that. So I think we'll go... yeah, I'll get you guys started. Maybe the first couple rounds we won't talk too much. I'll talk, but you guys do it on your own. And then we'd maybe split up into 2 groups. We'll have to see. Yeah, Jen, are you available to do this right now? I know it's getting kind of late, but maybe we could do a half hour.
Yeah, we could do a half. We're gonna go to bed soon, but yeah, I'm available.
How does it sound? So yeah, how does it sound about trust? Jen and Mirella, I allow myself to trust.
Yeah, that's a good one for me.
Do you guys want to do trust the divine, trust humans, trust life? You can pick.
Alex, I'll just log out and I'll log back in from my phone. Okay.
Okay.
That's okay. Just one moment.
Yeah, take your time.
Maybe the divine, because then it kind of trickles into everything else. But I'm open to any of them.
Yeah, and while we're waiting, I want to show Mirella and you guys these gene keys that I bumped into today when I was doing a session. And it's the gene key that has divine will in it. Let me pull it up. Yeah, it's a really cool one. Okay, here we are. So let me share my screen. So it's gene key 40. And gene key 40, the shadow is when we're exhausted because we're trying to do it all ourselves. Exhaustion is self-will, right? Divine will is where you want to be at. So divine will is like the opposite of exhaustion. Divine will is when you're in alignment, you do what feels right, you feel guided, everything flows, everything's so easy. You're like, oh, like kind of like how Mirella is like, I'm gonna have another 10K month. And it's like, well, it just happens, or it's easy. Okay. And the gift is resolve. So just if you guys want to explore gene key 40, it has divine will in it. Okay. So let's do this on trust. So the way it's going to look like is, imagine in your, there's the podium, there's a blackboard, and there's a bunch of empty seats in the living room or the auditorium. And you go, I allow myself to trust. It's like a goal, a decision. This is your goal, right? Your goal, whatever you want it to be. But we're going to try to see what comes up when you think about trust. I allow myself to trust. I allow myself to let go and let God. Something like that, right? I allow the divine to take care of me, or, I mean, it doesn't have to be codependent, but like I allow myself to trust the divine. And you can kind of keep going until you hear like a strong opposition. Like, why would I be opposed to trust? And most likely you'll get parts inside you who remember when you did trust and things didn't go so well, right? So if you feel like you want to do the TAT pose, right, where you hold this, if some pretty strong trauma comes up, just hold this pose. And it happened, it was real, it's over now. It happened, it was real, it's over now. I'll just write that one down so you can just keep saying that. Okay, with TAT. in case you feel like, I gotta breathe and I gotta hold and I gotta say that. All right. So what comes up as an opposition? Why don't you want to trust? Why do you feel it's not safe to trust? What comes up as a belief, a thought? Just listen for any narratives inside your head. And I don't feel safe trusting because... Whew. Breathe. Make sure you keep breathing into these parts. All right. So I heard if I trust, I could be disappointed. And when I follow the thought down to a face, I do see an inner child. So that's how I found my one inner child, right? But she could just be a stubborn little archetypal inner child. She doesn't have to be like one of me when I was little. But let's find for you, why would you be opposed to trust? And then just feel whatever comes up, be present to it. Let in a lot of light. Breathe in a big misty white cloud of light. Almost like you had a white light in your belly. And when you breathe it in, it goes up to your throat and your heart and your eyes and your face, just breathing in light. Letting out whatever needs to come out. Why would I be opposed to trust? Why don't I feel safe trusting? And bring your beingness, bring your light, you bring your presence into those spaces that I'm stirring up right now. Yeah. So if you have a strong answer, like no one follows through, just do the TAT and go, it happened, it was real, but it's over now. I used to resonate and identify and connect with that. But I choose to heal it. It can be healed. It used to be true, it's over now. I choose to resonate, identify, and connect with that people follow through now. And let's open a new door. So you might all have different ones. And I know I'm going kind of fast, but this is moving fast. So I can feel you guys shifting. Jan, it's not that no one ever follows through, but it's that you don't want them to follow through. So ask yourself, it's not that they can't follow through, but I don't want them to follow through. I'm asking them energetically not to follow through. Why don't I want them to follow through? And just ask yourself that. And if your answer was different, if your answer was like, I can't trust people because then I'll get hurt, or I can't trust because, ask yourself, it's not that I can't have, but that I don't want it. And why don't I want it?
What if no answer comes to this question?
Yeah, what was the opposition to trusting? I can help you.
I cannot trust because humans are assholes and stupid, and the divine is not always with me.
So it's not that the divine can't be with you, but that you don't want the divine to be with you. And if you don't want the divine to be with you, why don't I want it to be with me? Just ask that and wait to see.
Yes, this is what I asked. And it's like meditative, peaceful, empty mind. No.
Well, that's fine. So it was
Yes.
maybe the question was just for Jen, maybe because I might be disappointed if they don't show up in the way I desire. So she had more to uncover there, and you may not. You may be fine, Mirella. Sometimes it's like, oh, these people aren't paying me. Okay, wait. It's not that I can't get paid, but I don't want them to pay me. Why don't I want them to pay me? And then you could just feel like I did this with my other Jennifer here in Vegas yesterday, and she was like, oh, yeah, it's because I need to keep struggling in order to belong with my family. I need to struggle. And she cleared it. And then the person who hadn't been paying her for 2 weeks finally paid her while we were doing this clearing work. She got the money. But she couldn't get it before because she needed to, the person couldn't pay her because she believed that she had to struggle. The money had to be hard to get. If the money was easy to get, she wouldn't be like the blueprint of her family, you know? So we turned that upside down. So it's never that we can't have what we want, but a part inside doesn't want us to have it for some reason. I might be disappointed if they don't show up in the way I desire. So then you're trying to protect yourself from disappointment, Jen. And I just heard Melanie in one of our calls that we're going over again. She says, we do so much to avoid disappointment. We do so much to avoid pain. But the thing is, we're already in pain. Like, what are you afraid of? You know, you're avoiding trusting people in case they disappoint you. But the thing is, while you're avoiding trusting people, you're already disappointed. You're already in pain. So the thing is, what happens? What's on the other side of this disappointment is, you know what? You'll pick yourself back up. You'll have us here to ping pong with. You'll get through it. You'll be like, let's get up and try again. You know, what's the worst thing? It's not going to be that bad. And just ask, what's really, if I get disappointed, what happens? We move on. We go have a drink. We go out, you know, put on some makeup, and that, I don't know. I'm just making stuff up. We'd be fine. We'd do another fairy photo shoot on the beach. All right. So sometimes we linked up, like Jen, what I would unlink is I would unlink desire and disappointment. Oof. Do you see how you have them in the same energy? I'm unlinking desire and disappointment. Just get a big old sword, a crystal sword, and just be like, done. Lies from the devil. All right. Eva, trusting to get more clients means that they will continue to trigger my PTSD. I'm not sure it will ever go away. Why do I still want it? Because it's slowly being under the control, and I don't want it to stir it. I don't know if I understand you, love.
Yeah, so it's more like a part of me saying, like, listen, you are finally working through, you know, this bout of not feeling safe. Like it's finally starting to settle a bit, and you're going to be wanting to get more clients that are going to steer the pot in that direction again and again and again. And then this will be never ending. Like, why would you want to do this? So it's this,
Right.
it's not a critic. It's more like this non-believer that the anxiety will ever go away. And therefore it's like, you're broken, and you just want to bring in more people that continue to trigger that in you. Like, why? And then eventually you will harm your family, you will harm your kids, because you're going to take it out on them. And then what's the whole point? So it's a bit sort of like, you know, that archetype coming in and saying, like,
She feels
why?
like the mother. The mother archetype will always come in to convince you not to work.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I hear a doubter and I hear the mother.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, how often do you do TAT on the anxiety?
That's the thing. I had been doing it consistently, and then I stopped for like, I got food poisoning, and then that week was
fine. Yeah, I
and
mean,
then
better.
it's sort of yeah. So that's the thing. It's this belief that it's like, oh, you didn't do it for this time, and then all of a sudden things happen, and look how you got. Like, you were just you know, you were out of control. All of a sudden it was like the end of the world. And so if you cannot handle a
Yeah.
couple of clients, how can you handle
Right.
more? So it was a bit that, as you say, that doubter coming in.
Well, you know, and it's like the archetypes are looking to validate one or the other blueprint because they can't believe two things at the same time. So they're either going to validate that you're not worthy, you can't do this. Look how like not like illegitimate you are, right? Or they'll validate I'm calmer and calmer every day. I'm better and better every day. I can do this. It's easier. My anxiety is under control. Or maybe you don't need to control your anxiety. Maybe you just need to feel it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
Breathe
it
into
goes,
it.
I am working, it's very funny. I've been looking at my gene key, and my life purpose gene key is 22, which is grace. And it's and it's also stepping into through the portal of feeling the feelings, like the suffering and going through all of that. So I think one of the things that it's coming to me slowly, like a download. It's saying like you need to embrace grace moving forward, because it is part of how you are helping others. So
Right.
open
I think
yourself
you're
up more to it.
also, it's just a memorized emotion. Anxiety is a memorized emotion. So I'll make sure to send you, I'm sure you have it, but you know the emotional detox MP3? I think you just memorized anxiety, don't you think?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like maybe I just, it's as you say,
Yeah.
the blueprint is being wanting to get validated, and so let's look for evidence, and whatever little thing is like, yeah, we need to start feeling this way again. So yeah, it's this memory in my DNA.
And when you go, Eve, I feel anxious because, what do you hear? Like if you did a stream of consciousness right now.
I feel anxious because I don't know if I'm doing it right. I don't know if I'm messing it up. I don't know if people are seeing me as a fraud. I'm getting anxious because when I am not able to help others, then I feel like I'm also not being of use. I'm not, there's no purpose then in anything. And
Okay,
because I
so guess
couldn't.
what?
Yeah.
It's not that you can't help others, but that you don't want to help others. And you don't want to help others because, can you tap into that?
Yes, I don't want to help others because I failed trying to help others in the past, like, specifically my mom. So
Right.
I don't want to go down that route again, and not being able, I
So
don't want to
listen,
fail again.
it's not that you can't have clients that have amazing results, but you don't want clients that have amazing results. And you don't want clients that have amazing results because you don't want to fail.
Yeah.
But aren't you already failing when you don't have clients who have amazing results, or you don't have clients, period?
Yeah, true.
So you're already failing, you're already in pain, you're already disappointed. So what would it take for you to let go of self-reliance in this conundrum? Like you're trying to, do you see how there's self-reliance in that? It's like
Yes,
to
yes, yes.
self-protect, I'm gonna buffer myself, and I'm gonna be like, I don't want clients.
Yeah.
And because if I can't help them, I'll be disappointed. And I have evidence that I didn't help my mom. It was never your job to help your mother. She's supposed to be helping you. You were set up to fail if you're trying to help your mother because she's set up to help you, not the other way around. Yeah?
Yes.
So you didn't fail at helping your mother, is you believed the lemon, right? You believed that the lemon was real and you bit into it and you chewed it and your saliva started to come in your mouth, but there was never a lemon. The lemon wasn't even real.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
believed I must help my mother. If I don't help my mother, I'm a failure. There was no mother to help. It was the lemon. You believe the lemon. You give yourself a suggestion. Do you see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes.
So what if you could make this gone? Like it is going, it is gone, it is out of your life, Eva. It can never come back. It can never come back that you feel like a failure. What if you just got it out right now? You just decided, I will never feel like a failure again because I never failed. There was no test. There was no thing.
Mhm.
You didn't
Yes.
fail at receiving love from your mother. Your mother couldn't love you. She couldn't fill up your jar of approval. She, do you see, like she couldn't, could she?
No, absolutely not. No.
Exactly. If anything, she broke yours, right? But now you get to take it back and you get to cement it inside of you with crystals and it gets to be nudged in there. Like for all of us on the call, or approval, control, safety jars, they're in us. We don't give them out to anyone, not our clients, not our kids, not our lovers. No one gets to take them out of us. They're in us and they're like embedded with crystals in there and they're just in there and they can't get out because they're meant to be in us, filled through people and experiences in the universe. So, Eva, I'm going to just tell you now that you can close your eyes if you want, but like this idea that you failed, this idea that if clients come in and you fail at helping them, this whole idea of failure and disappointing people or disappointing yourself, what if it was gone and it was out of your life and it was irrelevant and it was a dim, dim, distant memory that could not ever interest you ever again? You couldn't even, you wouldn't even have availability for that shit. You'd be like, I'm not even available for that. Like, no, it can never be relevant. It will never be necessary or appropriate for you to ever be remotely interested in believing that belief ever again, because you were a little girl and you now have understanding. You now have a new set of fresh eyes, and you realize the lemon was never there in the first place. It was a lie. Get out of the movie theater, and it could never ever be appropriate or relevant for you to ever feel like a failure again. It is gone. It is eliminated. It's in the past. It's far, far, far behind you. And these old beliefs that come from these little girls that you're going to love so dearly and you're going to be their mommy to these little girls, it's erased out of them. This idea that they failed. They didn't fail. They're beautiful little girls and you get to be their mommies. So it's all being eliminated, erased. It's out of your life, Eva. You couldn't even get it back if you wanted. It's like running water that's out of you. It's gone down the drain. It's gone out of the bathtub. It is gone. It is shattered. It is a dot in the distant universe. No one, not you, not the little girls, could ever go back because they live in your world now. So start to feel like the woman who's on the other side of this, like who has zero availability because it's completely out of her mind, out of her heart. It's like, no, I'm not even available for the imposter syndrome. Like, no, that's a lie from the devil. Name it, see it, get rid of it. How do you feel?
Definitely, like I have my jars back. Like it doesn't feel like it's being given to anyone else at the moment.
So let's talk about availability. Like, are there things in your life, Eva, that you're just not available for? Like you're like, no way. That, like sleeping on the street with your kids, like you're not available for that, right? You're not going to go
No,
sleep outside with your kids. You're
no,
not going to hitchhike with your kids. Like there's shit you're just not going to do.
exactly. No.
Like what else are you just not available for?
Definitely not available to put up with my mom's antics. So that's definitely a no. Yeah.
So can you be just as not available for feeling broken?
Yes.
Like you're not available for your mother's antics because you know it's all ego, it's all bullshit. She's just manipulative, right? She's trying to whatever, blackmail you,
Yeah.
emotional blackmail you. So inside of you is an emotional blackmailer who's like, oh, you think you're gonna make it? You're not gonna make it. You think you're good, you're not good. Like an abusive asshole in your head. You need
Yeah,
to start
exactly.
shutting the fucking door and be like, I'm not available for your bullshit today. Dance around, just name it, see it, be like, no, that's not the truth. The truth feels good. If it doesn't feel good, it's coming from the devil.
Hmm.
Name it.
Yeah. It's not the truth. It's not the
It
truth at all.
wants you to fail, right? You're like a healer, an earth angel, and it doesn't want you to win, but you are made to win. You're made to win by Creator. Creator didn't create you to fail. He didn't create you to have a shitty life.
Yeah.
Otherwise, what's the point?
Yeah.
What do
Off
you,
with you.
what's coming through you?
No, it's just this sense of saying like off with you, like no way, no, not going there. I'm
So
tired.
then, yeah, not going there, not available. Just think, I'm not available to sleep on the street with my kids. I'm not available to listen to you. Like, I'm done. So, what kind of audio do you need to make with what kind of very powerful commands do you need to give your mind? Like, I command my mind to believe and to know and to show me that from this point forward, I'm empowered. I meet the most empowered version of myself. I live every day as an empowered woman who knows how to stand up against emotional blackmailing, even when it's in my own head. It's so easy to close the door and it's locked and it's full of crystals and love, but the door's locked to negativity in my own head. Or, it's a command. You're like, I'm not available. So I become the woman who's now living the life of someone who's healed. What if I was healed? What if I was just healed?
Yeah.
I'm done being broken. What if I'm done? Show me evidence. So what would be an awesome evidence that you were good? Like,
Getting
yeah.
awesome evidence would be just trusting, being always, not always, but being fully empowered in what I do, like trusting that my life purpose is doing what I'm doing right now, and I love it and I enjoy it, and it just gives me that energy, and evidence of it is that I wake up and I get back on the saddle again. It doesn't matter how the day might have gone the day prior, but it's more like the next morning it's just what my heart is pulling me in that direction to do, to show up and just continue ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. So, when you feel the doubt and you feel the doubter, that's when you want to stop, go, I feel because, and then turn it around. So you do approval, control, safety, right?
Mm-hmm.
See what I'm saying? And then you
Yeah.
get to a place where it's like you rescript it. I do exactly what I'm meant to do. My work is of high service. So if you hear a doubter, you just pause, name it, write it down so it gets out of your head, and then you change it.
Yeah.
And then you send it to me. I want to see it every day. Every time you have a doubter, you're like, Eva, feel doubt because if the doubt is an 8, if the doubt is a 2, you turn it around and then you send it to me.
Okay, I will. Thanks.
You have to
Thank you,
kind of feel
Elise.
like you are the Joan of Arc of your own heart right now. Like you need to be super protective, So it's like every time you hear, I think I'm doing it wrong, that's the lie. That's the evil devil doubt,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I will.
Yeah, and then bring in your internal mommy. Like your own mother, like you're the mother to yourself, right?
Yeah, parenting myself, absolutely. Yeah, just giving that little girl the opportunity to have fun and feel safe. Mm-hmm.
How free do you feel?
No, much, much better. Much better.
Yeah.
Like when you said it's like that belief is just like a dot in, outer space. I really imagine it just going into that direction.
It is
disappearing.
gone. Yeah, it's gone, gone, gone. It's irrelevant. It's inappropriate. It can never, ever come back. It's shrinking, disappearing. It is going. It is gone. Gone.
Yeah.
That's what I meant when I left the voicemail in the WhatsApp group. Sometimes it's like you can entertain archetypes just to get more info and you can make promises and all that. But sometimes at some point you just need to be like, okay, we're done here. Like there are some friends you don't validate, you just shut the phone and you're done. Like you burn the bridge. Do you see? Like some archetypes, you're like, oh, wait, no, well, no, I'm not going to talk to you because you're full of shit. I'm just going to get rid of you, you know? So it depends. You guys have to, you have to kind of just feel it. And I'm here for you, Eva. Okay. I'm here for all of you guys. That's why I always say, hey, you got the WhatsApp group. You have me, you guys. It's so if you hear a belief, I think I'm doing this wrong. Well, you can't do this wrong. First, there's no wrong way. There's no right or wrong way, you know? You just got to do it. So it's like the reason there's no wrong or right way, because I believe that you're being guided every moment. So it's like you know, I was walking Christina through this today, but it's like you breathe, you wait, and you just wait and you breathe, and you kind of empty your mind. And you just wait for an inspired idea or like an image or what feels right. What's my desire? What do I want to do next? And you just let it come. Do I want to do archetypes? Do I want to tell them to F off? Do I want to validate? You just pick the path, right? You pick the door. So every moment is revealed to you. That's what I feel. All right, how are we doing on trust? I allow myself to trust. Does it feel more possible? Are there still a lot of oppositions? Breathing in, trust. What does it feel like to trust? Can I trust? I feel like everybody's much quieter. Yeah, Mirella, did you get an opposition to trusting? Okay.
I'm still being stuck with I have to do everything by my own.
You
And
have to do everything by yourself?
Yes, and I cannot do everything by myself, so I have to work hard to do everything by myself, but I cannot do everything by myself. So it's like some kind of
Right. Well, that makes sense why that part would sabotage anytime you have money from your parents.
yes,
No,
yes,
I don't want
it's
your help. I got to do this by myself. So this is where I would go get curious and ask her. So when we get genuinely curious from a place of love, like as if you're interviewing someone really shy, and you go, oh, you got to do everything by yourself. So you're asking her that, and you're just listening for an answer.
yes, because the answer is because only then you are independent.
So
Only
keep
then you
talking to
are.
her. So remember, this is the subconscious, and the subconscious controls 98% of our lives, right? So when your investments go down the drain, why is that? When it's because this voice says you need to be independent, you can't have money freely flow into you, you got to work hard for it or whatever. I'm making stuff up, but that's usually what they say. So, so get curious. I mean, you have your subconscious who controls 98% of your reality on a hot seat right now. Don't you want to find out what it has to say? So go, oh, okay, I got to be independent.
Yes, yes, and it's some kind of fighter energy. Yes, you have to
Okay,
do
so let's
by
ask her.
yourself.
Stay with her. Stay with her. Oh, really? Yeah, I got to be independent. Okay.
Yes, she is not. I don't really like her.
Okay, that you remember we're interviewing someone that we need to find out everything possible. So you need to pretend you do like her right now.
Yes, it's So why do you need to be independent? Because I need to feel free. And I don't want to rely on anybody, because relying on anybody would make me dependent. So I cannot live my own life.
So this part wants to be free. So this is what you can also tell your inner kids. So when your inner kids go, I really want to go have a burger, or I really want to go to the beach, and you're like, I can't go to the beach. You can tell them, you go to the beach. So you can tell this part, okay, you get to be free. You get to be independent. Tell her, no problem.
Mm-hmm.
You go be free. You're right. Why would we rely on men? Or it's better if we make our own money. Just agree with her.
Mm-hmm. 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 She is very confused
Why?
because it's like, what? I need to fight to be free. You cannot say I'm just free.
Exactly. So this is where you start to diffuse your archetypes. So when you agree with them, they go, oh, okay. Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you get to be free. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
give her freedom. She wants freedom. Give her freedom.
Mm-hmm. Yes, she is very confused still.
That's okay.
Because,
She can hang out and be confused. You go, oh, you thought you had to fight for your freedom?
mm-hmm. Yes, I
So
always
tell
have to
her
fight. Mm-hmm.
she thought she was in a cage or whatever, but she's free. She's been free. She gets to go anytime she wants. Just let her open the door and go.
Mm-hmm.
Does she want to go?
No, she is confused because she says, okay, so I wanted to earn money to do everything by myself, but then I'm also relying on my clients. I will never be free because
Wait, are we talking to you or are we talking to her right now?
she,
She's not you. She doesn't have clients. She's your
okay,
ultra independent badass who's been fighting. She's your fighter. She's not a therapist. She's not an NLP certified woman. She's a fighter. She's not your healer. She's been your rebel. She's been your contrarian. She's been like having a revolution all by herself. Her job is to fight. Her job is to always be contrarian. Her job is to get her freedom no matter the cost. She doesn't care that it's ruining your life. She wants freedom. So tell her she's free. She can go.
Yes, and then she asks, but I don't have the money. It's what she says.
She doesn't need money. Tell her whatever you need, you can just go. And you know what? She doesn't need money for where she wants to go. Ask her, what do you want to do?
She wants to travel.
Tell her she can go travel. Lots of people hitchhike. Lots of people find ways. They don't need money. She can travel with 0 dime and just let people give her rides. She's not made to work. She wants to be free.
Yes, but she's in a conflict because then she will rely on anybody else. She's just in a very big conflict because she doesn't know.
Oh, so she wants money so she doesn't have to trust anybody. All right, well, tell her that money is the currency of trust. Like money is love. Money is an exchange between people. You don't get to just use money to keep people out. It's like she wants the hugs, but not the humans. But money comes from humans. Money comes through humans. So sorry, she wants to be free, but she's going to have to love people again and forgive herself and forgive other people.
She doesn't want this. It's funny because she has a pet situation. She wants to be free. She wants to earn the money to be free. But by earning the money, she will rely on the people who will give her the money for a service.
Money comes through people. Unless she finds a treasure somewhere on the beach.
And she doesn't want money to come through people. I never thought this.
Okay, so tell her, okay, you don't want money to come through people? That's fine.
Okay.
That's fine. Money doesn't have to come through people. Agree with her.
Okay, money doesn't have to come to people. Mhm.
Fine. So you want to be free. She wants to be free. She wants to travel, and she doesn't want money to come through people. That's fine. So what else? How is she doing?
I know it's something, it's so sticky. It's just like, it's in a way, of course, like a small child, like a 3-year-old child. To say, no, I don't want to rely on anyone. I want to be free, but I don't want to receive not money, not food, not sleeping. I don't want everything. I want to be free. And she doesn't know how to be free in
Yeah.
relation to others.
Were you born the 9th of May or the other way around?
9th of May.
Okay. And ask her, how old do you think I am? Ask her, how old do you think I am?
Me, now Mirella. How does she think I am?
Yeah, ask her quickly. Don't think about it.
Okay, how do you think I am? Weak, confused, weak and confused. This is what she says.
How old? Just look at her. She can see you. How old do you think I am?
How old do you think I am? She says you are 46.
Okay. And how old do you think we are, like you and her?
49.
Okay.
But the funny thing is she is looking like Xena, she is not 3. I don't know if you know Xena. Xena was, this kind of Amazon lady. She is
Yeah.
looking like a complete, full fighting, masculine, but gorgeous looking woman, 3 years old. It's
So
so
she looks
weird.
like she's 3.
Yeah, no, she looks like she is 30, a gorgeous
Okay.
woman, but like very masculine, very, don't touch me, don't give me anything. I will fight you, I will kill you.
So ask her, what is your role in my life?
She says to protect you.
And you protect me because I need you to protect me because
I need you to protect me because people are stupid. People are dangerous. You should not trust people.
yeah. And my function, what is her function in your life?
To make sure that I never make myself vulnerable to anything, to anybody.
Okay.
And this is funny because these are sentences from my mother. Don't trust anybody. Don't trust anybody. Don't trust your friend. Don't trust your boyfriend. Don't trust a man. Don't trust anybody.
But do you want to keep operating out of that blueprint?
No.
What do you want?
I want to trust people. I want to receive from people. I want to receive money. I want to receive kindness. I want to receive love. I want to feel soft and in trust.
So you have Xena, Princess Warrior, right? Wasn't she in a
Yes.
movie, in the show?
Yes, yes.
Xena, Princess Warrior. So ask her, how much percentage are you taking up out of 100?
80.
80?
I don't know
80?
how all these archetypes have 80, but a lot of them have 80%.
Yeah, you have 80%. So what's on the opposite of her? If you look across from her, who's on the other side?
On the other side is a goddess Inanna.
Who's that?
This is my higher self. This is some kind of goddess, a woman who is very full of love. She's amazing with kids. She is a great mother. She is, I always knew she is some kind, I don't know, when I discovered her perhaps 15 years ago. And her name is Inanna. I always knew this.
But Inanna is only 20% right now because of goddess Xena.
Yes. Yes.
So let's make some promises to the Princess Warrior. Although Okay, she thinks she's protecting you because people are stupid and dangerous. She says, my function in your life is to never make myself vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
Ask her, how do you protect me from stupid people? What do you do?
Okay. Um, she say, I don't let you meet any kind of man. I don't, I'm not letting you build a business because then you could destroy it or you could trust and people would, yes, would leave you or let you down. I don't give you the money to travel because then you could put yourself in danger. Um,
All right, so my love, how
okay,
much longer are you just going to be your daughter, your mother's little girl? How much longer do you want to play this out?
I don't want to play it out at all.
Okay, so you've got to come up and you got to see yourself as taller and taller and taller than Princess Warrior Xena.
Mm-hmm.
And you're tall, you go, hey, how old was I when you first came into my world?
Something about 3.
Okay, so at 3 years old, I probably needed you, most likely.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
probably really needed some Princess Warrior in me for some reason. Guess what? We're in 2022. I'm way, way far from being 3. I'm tall now. I can reach the light. I can drive a car. I can open the fridge. I can go to the store. Maybe when I was 3, people were really stupid, especially other 3-year-olds were probably really stupid, right? Maybe adults don't get kids. You're right. Like, agree with her. Be like, yeah, I probably had some stupid parents, adults around me who didn't get me. But I'm not 3
Mm-hmm.
anymore, and I'm an adult, I'm the parent, and now your services are no longer necessary.
Mm-hmm.
I'm grown up. So it's like, I don't need my babysitter anymore. And there's nothing wrong with your services, but I'm not a baby anymore.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm done being scared of all the fears my mother has. Like, if I come across stupid and dangerous people, I'm gonna be able to tell and get out, like change. Like I can get off the sidewalk. Like you're not gonna go walk outside at 3 a.m. in a dangerous neighborhood. Like,
No, no, of course, everything what you are saying make a lot of sense. Just the last, when I'm saying I'm able to take care of me, she says, no, you're not.
yeah, that's fine. Guess what? You're the adult. You don't get to let her win. You go, yes, I
No,
can.
yes, but she gives me just evidence. She say,
That's
look
fine.
at what.
Yeah, that's fine. She's like a mother. She's an abusive mother. This is like the night of abusive mother figures. She doesn't believe in you. You go, if you don't believe in me, you don't belong in my head. I don't need
Mm,
someone who's in my head who tells me I'm shit and I don't do anything right. Maybe you tolerated that until now, but you're not going to tolerate that anymore.
mm,
No,
mm,
you're not a good mother figure. You're not helping me. And you're not letting me date. You're not letting me have money. You're not letting me travel. Get the fuck out of my life.
mm, mm.
And then you tell me it's because I'm not good enough. Do you see how abusive that is? It's like an abusive husband. It's an emotional abusive archetype. You don't
Mm,
make you don't negotiate with that.
mm,
I am good enough. I just traveled to Egypt. Tell her to shut up. I just swam with dolphins. I was just scuba diving. You don't need to just tell this part you don't need to be held back anymore. She's keeping score of how terrible you are at everything. And her job is 80%. Her job is 80% taking over your life to be right about how bad you are at what you do. So she has to keep intervening and controlling you. Tell her
mm.
to shut up.
Yes. Mm.
I'm an
Eh,
adult. I can make choices. I can make great choices. Just tell her, close your eyes and tell her.
mm,
Tell her till she's gone.
Mhm. Yes, but I don't know why it's so sticky. She doesn't believe me. She doesn't believe me, and it's some way I'm getting impacted by it because I believe it's just my fault. It's an archetype because my real mother is not saying anything anymore. She's
Of
she's
course.
really. Mm,
You've internalized her, so you don't need her outside of you. You have her in you now. So just
yes.
go, yeah, I get you. You may not believe in me, but I believe in me.
Mm,
Tune
mhm,
into the goddess
mm,
Ina or that other one. I believe in me. I'm a great
mm,
mom.
mhm.
I mean, if this archetype came out and talked to your daughter the way she talks to you, what would you do?
Which archetype?
I mean, Xena, the other one, sorry.
If Xena would talk with my daughter the way she's talking with me, yes, of course. Yes, I will say you're crazy. Mm,
You're crazy because
because you're
find some new
stupid.
truths. Yeah.
Mm, mm, yes.
See, the thing about her is nothing you do will ever be good enough. You could have a million evidence that you're smart enough, that people are loving, that people are safe, that people stay up till 11 p.m. to help you. Like you could have all the fucking evidence in the world and she'll be like, "No, I know you. I know
Mm,
you." She's like an Asian mother. She reminds me of my mother-in-law.
yes.
They never praise you. The things you do that are amazing, she thinks it's normal. Of course you should be able to do that. No praise. Praise it. You could be the best doctor in the world. Of course you should be the best doctor in the world. Do you want me to praise you for that? There's nothing praiseworthy about you. That's that.
Yes.
So at some point, you got to stand up for yourself.
Mm, yes, true.
So maybe that part who
Mm,
stands up for you, babe, doesn't exist yet. You haven't created her.
yes, it feels like this. Mm, yes, it feels like this. But it feels already different. The waitress is in a way not so strong anymore, or the
Mm.
slave. And yes, it's interesting because my mother in the outer world, she always praised me. And at the same
Mm.
time, she gave me the feeling that I have to take care and I cannot take care good. And at the same time, I'm taking care. This is this kind of incongruency, you know.
Well,
You
I mean,
are,
if she was that afraid, she put so much fear in you.
yes, yes. She is very afraid. She's a very
Yeah, so
afraid
you grew
woman.
up around that. It leaks into you, you know? You start to wonder, am I safe? Am I going to be good enough for the world? Okay, I'm strong. I can handle some things. But your mom paints such a picture that everything's so dark, then it's like, oh shit, am I going to be good enough? I mean, I think I am. See how you have like your back and forth?
Mm, mm,
But it's like the lemon. The lemon was never there. Your brain believed it, you know? So if I ask you to imagine a lemon, smell it, chew it, you start to smell it, you start to taste it, and your mouth creates saliva. There was no
mm,
lemon. Your mind made it up. Well, guess what?
mm,
There's nothing to be afraid of. Her mind made it up. You made it up. And we all made it up so well that we started to find evidence.
mm, mm. Yes, true, true. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Interesting. Well, hey, you named two archetypes. And yeah, just what I would do to create, just before we go, to create the part who does stand up, who does say, no, wait, Mirella, you don't have to do everything perfectly. Like the way you would talk to your daughter. Wait, you figure this out. Like, what would you say to your daughter if she needed to have more faith in herself? You would say things like, you get to try and learn. You get to do better. You get to be an amazing investor. You get to make great decisions with money. You get to have all the information you need. But see, Xena didn't want you to have any money because if you did have money, people could leave you. It was dangerous. You could travel and get hurt. she didn't want you to live.
Mm.
She didn't want you to live. So she sabotaged, and she was 80%. So an archetype who doesn't want you to live, who's taking over 80%, you're not going to feel good. So if she's no longer taking 80%, who is? That's what I'm, you know what I mean? If she's gone, or she's 20 or 40%, who's coming to replace her?
Yes. Mm.
And you've got
I
to
don't know.
install that and create it and make a little audio recording. And you say, I command my mind, I direct my mind to stand up for me, to believe in me. I like in RTT, we call it installing a cheerleader.
Mm.
Cheerleader, Mirella's cheerleader, who praises you, who believes in you, who's like, I love you, you're amazing. I think I have an audio I made a while back on that. I can try to dig it out. The way you'd praise your daughter.
Yes, yes, yes. For my daughter, it's so easy to trust. And the funny thing is, what my daughter, it's so funny because my daughter doesn't trigger me almost anytime. It's so interesting, and it's
Well,
so.
plenty of other people do, so don't worry, that's why.
Yes, you mean I'm in balance. But it's so easy to trust her and to trust that the source will always help her, and she will always be fine with money
Yes.
and with everything.
Yes.
It's so easy. I don't even have to inspire her or to tell her anything about it because she just knows.
Well, she has great mental health, but the thing is, you were born with the same mental health. We were all born with great, perfect mental health. So she doesn't have the nasty archetypes.
No, she doesn't.
So then
No,
just think, I was born with perfect mental health. So just go back to perfect mental health. It's innate. You already have perfect mental health. You just, Xena took over when you were 3, but just get her to be smaller,
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Alex. You are so good in what you are doing, really.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Thank you. I mean, you guys make it be awesome and good, and you're so willing to let me get in there. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
but you are really good. I wish you so much. It's amazing.
oh. I loved your goddess. How do you call her?
Inanna.
Inanna. Because a while back, you really were like so loving. Everything was love. Remember when you were like, oh, your heart was overflowing with love and gratitude? And that was Goddess Inanna. And then like, I was like, why is Mirella so much harder these days?
Yes, I believe because I sabotaged myself.
Well, no,
And
you just
also
flipped archetypes.
Yes, I just flipped archetypes, and it was like also really, really going away from this boyfriend. It was really still struggling for me.
Okay.
It was very hard because before I went to Egypt, I just realized that he was almost there at the same hotel with another woman some years before.
Right.
And I really needed some days to get over it because I felt so unworthy and unloved and ugly. And it was like I really began to hate him. And I got very hard again inside, just to not let him in my life at all. Because it was again evidence that men are taking care of other women better than
But can you see how the trigger was a gift? Like my son triggered me, right? This guy triggered you, but what he triggered in you, you already had it before, which was what? Like, I'm not lovable.
I don't receive.
I give him you what?
I'm not worthy to receive. I'm not worthy that he loves me.
But the thing is, when you hear the belief, you can hear who it's coming from and you can call it out as a lie. So it's like, oh, thank you for triggering me. You're my soulmate. He was obligated energetically not to take you on a trip to Egypt because you had those beliefs before you met him. See, you're so good when you talk about identity, but become the woman who is taken care of. Become the woman who's not Princess Xena, but who's like, of course men invite me out to eat. And it's a completely, I mean, whatever, they pay, whatever. It's a completely different energy. Like, it's like, I'm not going to lift a finger, but to go from Princess Xena, who doesn't want to have anything to do with people, not even money from people, to I'm going to let everyone take care of me. Like, without having it be codependency, it's more of of course, it's a gift. It's a gift to let people love me. I don't know if that sounds very like egocentric, but you know what I mean? It's like,
No, it's not ego-centered at all.
it's like, yeah, it's a gift to, yeah. Like when my boyfriend in France, he loves to do everything for me. And it's like, he buys me, if I need shoes, he goes out and gets me shoes. Like, he's so cute. And I'm like, he loves it. It's my gift to him to take care of me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm.
But I mean, it took years of like man hating, clearing man hating. Like today I cleared it in 10 minutes, but in the past it would have been months of like, ugh.
Yes, it's interesting to see how the programs are getting so in each other, because his program is I'm not enough, I'm not enough, I'm not enough. And with me is at one moment I'm telling him he's not enough. You know, he is not enough for me. And it's just, but however,
You really, I mean, I kept doing a clearing worksheet. I don't do things in my head. I would really recommend you took it down on paper. I feel because, and then you question and you pivot. You don't stay in your head about it. So I would print the happy map or do a bunch, like have a bunch ready to go. My forgiveness magic sheet is really good, but we can get to that next week. But it's like, you just
yes,
like I can't do things on my own in my own head because I'll start spinning.
yes, yes. I know when I'm writing down, things are getting easier. And
Yeah.
it's exactly, it's good that we are doing the forgiveness magic, because I'm not able to forgive. It's still this kind, I think it's still Xena. It's just don't forgive, don't forget,
Of
take
course, she
care.
doesn't want you to trust people, but you got to keep naming her and parenting her and like softening her or get rid of her. Because see, you have this one, and this one is very contrarian. My son has that one. It's exhausting because no matter what you tell them, they're going to disagree with you. So this expensive Xena over here, she's revolutionary, right? Reactive and revolutionary. But you can get a hold of her. You can start to soften it, and I want to turn the lines off. And then simplicity is important to you. I would just keep things simple. Forgiveness and understanding. I mean, you don't have to go to forgiveness. You could just go to understanding. So you feel the intolerance, you feel the fuck humanity, I'm so sick of them. Like you feel the intolerance, and then you let understanding come up on its own. The understanding, you can't really try to grasp it. It will just come up on its own when you sit with intolerance. Does that make sense? So the gift, which is the middle one, comes when you sit and you feel the feeling and you process it, or whatever you can do. But a lot of the stuff you're feeling sounds like it's from your mom.
Yes.
So it's carried. And I learned this from a brilliant woman. She said, if you have a carried emotion, you have to just give it back. You just let it go. It's not yours. You just picked it up. You got to let it go. You got to give it back. So
I believe I couldn't give it back until now, because I didn't realize that it's not mine. You know, to give it back,
I know.
I have to realize it's not mine. It's from her. It's her projection.
Oh, you
It's
mean tonight when you heard Princess Xena, you could tell that was her?
yes. And when we did the first thing, our
Yeah.
first session, I also realized it's her.
Yeah.
And this changed. And at the same time, the waitress, it's not really from her. This is something else, but it's
Well,
still from her.
it's the over pleasing.
Yes, yes,
The over
yes,
pleasing because we feel afraid of not being enough.
yes.
But again, the same thing is like you got to go in and parent and reparent these parts and be the woman, be the goddess, be the adult. I mean, you've been in Melanie's world for so long, you know, be the alpha femme or whatever, where you're like, hey, you guys, let's settle everybody down. Here's what we're going to do. Here's who we are. Here's what we do. Here's my
Mm.
identity. I'm not a waitress, but I'm happy to be of service, right? From a higher vibe. Like you
It's
love
so
to serve your daughter.
so interesting in Melanie's world, also in being in this other course. There are so many millionaires popping up. It's just like crazy. It's
In
like,
the
you know,
channel.
it's so incredible and it's so easy for the woman. I'm just stunned because when I'm watching their Facebook accounts or you know, I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see where they receive all this money. I have no clue.
I
I
mean, they
really
could
have
be
no clue.
lying. We never know. I don't want to say that, but they could be lying just to get more clients.
Yes, but I don't believe this because I was with some of them in the small group, you know, in the small groups, and it's they have a way to talk and to be where I believe this, you know, it's not, I believe in a way I can feel if somebody is
Right.
pretending
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
or
So you
if,
think that but were they bought the channel, but they maybe had already been doing the
yes,
hypermind or the AFE?
yes, they were even much longer in Melanie's world.
Yeah,
They worked with her already 3 years or something like this, or did a
exactly.
lot of other work. But we also have some very young people. But of course, it's always what is a background? How is their family? You know, where do they come from?